Yeah, so at the age of 20, I lost 6 figures plus. But I'm still here, I'm still smiling, I'm still living. And I know how to make it back. And I'm going to teach you how to make it back too.
Season 3. What's changed?
Hold on. hold on.
What's the worst thing you do for money?
I don't do
like
anything.
The most heinous, like just worst.
I don't do weird stuff for money.
Would you push somebody's grandmother down the stairs for $1 million?
No. It's weird.
You wouldn't do that.
I wouldn't. Would you?
$1 million?
$1 million, push her downstairs. Hip replacement, that's already $100K. So I'm losing money from
No, you're not. It's $1 million.
Nah, I'm not gonna feel right.
You're American. All right, I have a riddle for you. I have a joke. What's black and white and deals with power struggle?
What's black and white and deals with power struggle?
Mm-hmm.
A panda.
What?
I don't know. What do you want?
A chessboard.
Pet peeves, communication. I value communication a lot. Even though I am a hypocrite when it comes to that, I'm not the best communicator. But
so how can you expect somebody else to do something that you can't do?
Because then if two people are communicating in a non-optimal way, then there's just going to be a void there. You know what I mean? Like, I need somebody to be a better communicator. So
it's okay for you to be subpar if somebody else is way better than you. Because they just make up for your lackluster ability.
It's not necessarily where I'm going.
We still have yet to see the hairline.
Bro, go to my Instagram. You'll see my hairline. I'm not balding. I thought I was balding though, for real. When I walk in somewhere, I don't need to be seen. I don't need to be heard. If you notice me, you notice me. Most of the time, I am noticed though. So I guess. I guess.
You want a cookie? Like,
nah, I usually don't. I'm just saying. That's why I usually walk in last. Because I don't want to walk in first and take all the shit.
You don't want
me.
Oh,
my fault.
Kill.
I think this is the season that's gonna help us to start really propelling forward.
This is gonna be our momentum swing.
Yeah, this is where it all gets. Because the ball's already rolling, and now the snowball's just gonna get bigger. Yeah, Time Millionaire to the moon. Taha.
No, I'm on my side mission journey right now.
What do you mean by a side mission?
Trying to pick up as many skills and experiences as I can. So,
type of skill?
Anything. I'm trying to learn to cook. I've been playing chess. About to go kayaking.
You're losing at chess though. And kayaking, isn't that when you fly out? Like
that's parasailing.
Oh, my fault.
You're so ignorant.
Oh, I'm
sorry.
You know how to swim?
Yeah. I was on swim team when I was 6. Okay. I took the swim test. They threw you in the water. I had to survive for like 4 minutes. Okay, that's probably like a minute in the water, just floating and stuff. When I was like 10, I go to the pool by myself.
Okay.
I don't think you were able to do that, but
how does it feel to be like rich? Because everybody always talks about gym this, gym that, but you are high key the man.
So I don't think I could be the man in terms of money or being rich, right? Because there's a point where I literally like had to fight myself to see if I could even eat McDonald's. 2 McChickens and six nuggets. Probably familiar with 10,000 hours. So in order to be really good at something, you have to put the time in. So I can't sit here and let anybody just have access to me. Welcome back to the Time Millionaire Podcast, Season 3, Episode 1. We're talking about stocks. My name's Taha.
My name's Jim.
And yeah, so I think just before we get into it, the stock market to me is a magical place. And that sounds dumb, but like being for real, like I think it's a really good place just to be able to make money passively. It doesn't require a lot of work. You don't have to be like super duper knowledgeable because there's a lot of resources out there. And I think it's a really good place just if you want to be financially free, as most people say. I think it's a good place to start. So I think, before we even get into it, I know a lot of people, it's going to be like a beginner guide. So a lot of people may not really know what a stock is and, what the market is and the opportunities that are there. So if you want to break down what a stock is for them?
So a stock is basically a portion of a share of a company. Whenever you purchase one, you basically owning 0.0000001% of a certain company, right? And the way it works is the better a company is doing as a company, the better their revenue is, the higher the stock price. Usually it's going to correlate together. So the better the company is doing, the higher the stock price is going to be eventually. So usually people make money or a lot of money with this when they catch on to companies early on.
Yeah.
Either early on or when they catch them during when there's a lot of recessionary pressure, which we are in that certain thing right now.
And to add on to that, I think the easiest way to make the money is just holding a company for a long period of time, right? And so there's a thing, time in the market is more important than timing the market. And just to break that down, so if you were to try to buy a stock when it hits its all-time low, right, or when it's like doing really poorly, just so you can ride it all the way back up, that's really hard to do. And most people who study this their whole lives, they're not even able to do that. But if you're buying a stock over time, you're gonna be able to grow with that stock, because over time the stock market goes up. There may be a year where it does poorly, and we're in a year like that right now, but over time it's always went up. The stock market is normally returned 10% each year. And so I think breaking that down, that's why stocks are a really good thing to get into. And then also just really quickly want to break down what an ETF is, because some of you guys may not know what that is, but it's really popular. So an ETF, right, is just an ETF is a basket of stocks, right? So ETFs are really good, especially for people who don't want to do like too much research, or don't want to just put the time into finding each individual stock. ETF is good because it allows you to diversify, which is it's like a buzzword a lot of people use, but it's good because let's say you have Apple, Tesla, Microsoft, like all these big companies, and let's say one does really poorly, you're not going to lose as much money because those other companies are there to hold them up. And so that's why ETFs are really powerful, and they're normally cheaper than going and buying 5 shares of Apple and all these shares of different companies, because that would cost you thousands and thousands of dollars. You can get ETFs for like a couple $100-$200, so it's cheaper. It may own less of that specific company, but it's also a lot safer because all those companies will not fail. Over time you make more money. I think that's why it's a really powerful tool, and something that a lot of people can use, especially as beginners, to start off.
And that compounding interest is insane. Because, well, you said 10% over a year.
10% a year, and
over 7 years, 6 years, that doubles eventually.
Yeah, and so again, compounding interest. Compounding interest is essentially just when your money kind of grows more and more each year because it's growing on top of each other. So that may sound a little confusing, but to break it down, let's say you had $100 and you made 10% the first year. So that 10% is a $10 increase in your money. Now you have $110. So that next year, 10% is an $11 increase. So you see, like, over time, you're just making more and more money. And when you scale that up, that becomes thousands and thousands of dollars. And so that's why it's really important, because I have a stat for you guys. Everybody wants to be a millionaire, right? So if you put in $500 a month, starting with zero, put in $500 a month over the next 30 years, you have $960,000 by the time you're 20. When you're 50, you're basically a millionaire. But if you want to keep doing that 500 over 10 more years, over 40 years, you have 1.6 million. And I want you to really sit there and like think about what you can do at 1.6 million. Think about like when you're an adult, being able to do whatever you want, being like financially free, as they say, and not having to worry about the little things. You can go get whatever food you want, get whatever car you want, take that trip if you want to. You can actually live life and do things that actually matter to you. So I think that's like really important, because the stock market it's not going to take up all your time. It's something you can do passively, and as long as you're consistent and you're not scared, which is something I think you'd be really good at talking about. As long as you're not scared and you kind of take some of those risks, like you normally end up ahead.
No, that's fair. With the risk thing, everybody has different risk tolerance. My risk tolerance is a lot higher than yours, and yours is a lot higher than other people. And the one thing that's important is you want to start early, because then when you make those mistakes at a younger age, you have the time to recover.
Yeah.
Anyway, you have the time to recover, essentially.
And I think we've done this for 2.5 years now. And we've had a lot of ups and downs, lost a lot of money. At least on my end,
I lost a lot of money.
So I think but we're still here, right? Still here. And so I think that was your thing. Like, don't be scared.
Yeah, don't be.
Because there's always room to grow. You always come back.
Because I'm gonna break it down like this, right? Hadn't I lost the amount of money that I lost? No, first, hadn't I gained the amount that I gained? I would have never known that there was this type of opportunity out there. And then me losing it all really let me just rebuild myself mentally and like see. Because I learned a lot. I learned a lot about myself. I learned more losing than actually gaining. Because when I lost, I was like, oh, I just keep losing week after week after week. But it just showed. I just learned that I'm actually I'm resilient. And I kept going. So you just need to be patient with your time, because you will recover. I'm only 21.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've seen highs, I've seen lows, but I'm only 21, so I still have my whole life ahead of me to recover and still be good. Yeah.
And I think that's like, I think I'm gonna give you guys 3 kind of tips. Just in terms of like, I think having success long term, because short term anything can happen, and I think that's where a lot of people go wrong. Trying to become rich super duper quickly, super fast.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think like being long term, 3 tips. First, patience, as you mentioned. I think second is having, conviction in yourself, and the things that you choose. And I think the third thing, and this is probably the most important, is being greedy when other people are fearful. And a lot of people don't really live like that. And I'm going to explain why that's a bad thing. So, most people, when the stock market goes up, that's what everybody wants to buy. Everybody buys stocks, right?
Whatever, keep going. Like, you're not thinking.
So when everything's going up, that's when people buy. And when things are going down, that's when they sell, because they're scared to lose more money. But I want you to kind of flip your thinking, because in our experience, like most other people, when everybody's doing one thing, the best thing to always do is the opposite. Mm-hmm. So when a stock is dropping, like let's say 50%, or like a cryptocurrency dropped 80%, most people are going to sell and get scared. Mm-hmm. But I think the best thing to do in that time is to actually buy. If you believe in that company long term, is buy. Because first, the company's not going to drop a lot more. Like, it's much more likely for something to go back up to where it was, or like even go up a good amount, than it is for it to drop all the way to zero.
Right. And then my fault. Quick intermission. And then remember what I said. The stock price and the business fundamentals usually go hand in hand. Now, there's certain times like this, like right now, recessionary fears, where a company's financials could stay the same. This is from my accountants right there. Like, their balance sheets could look great and everything, but people are just so scared because of the recessionary fears that we have, where the stock price is going to start going down.
Because nothing about the company actually changed.
Exactly.
It's just everybody else is scared.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's the thing. Because if you do what the average person does, you're going to be average. And I think that's not what everybody wants to do, because I don't think the average person will have $1 million, or
you want to be average?
Do what they want.
You want to be average? Do you want to be average?
No,
I don't want to be average. So I don't.
But I think if you do what the average person does, that's why it's always good to kind of do the opposite of what everybody else is doing, because you're probably going to end up on the winning side if you do that. Mm-hmm. So again, I think I really want to hit this home. Like, be when things are dropping, that's the best time to buy, because history has always shown things always recover over time. There was times where over years, like, the stock market has dropped consistently, but then it always came back up to even higher. Like, look at COVID. There was companies, Tesla dropped all the way down to like $400. And now, like, the comparative value is like, now it would be like $3,500 if you would have bought when it was at the bottom.
2 years ago.
And so
that was 2 years ago.
And so I think that's the thing. Mm-hmm. And for everybody,
I can already hear them. They're like, oh, you're talking all these stocks. Well, where should I buy them? How can I get started?
That's a good question. So I think the best way to get started, well, first, I think just find a brokerage account. And a brokerage account, very layman's terms, is just a place where you can buy stocks. And so I would recommend things like, TD, Ameritrade, Charles Schwab. Those are the big ones. Yeah, and I was gonna get into that for people, especially like teenagers. Webull has like the best app, so I would use Webull. And we're not sponsored, but we'll have a link in the description if you want to, help us out. You know what I'm saying? But and then Robinhood. I'm not the biggest fan, but that's there too. So that's where you kind of go to buy. And then I think the best thing after that is to just set up your bank account, and everything's safe because everybody's does it in terms of like, you're not going to steal your money. So put your bank account information in there and set up recurring payments over time. So by setting up recurring payments, it doesn't have to be $1,000 a month or a week or whatever you're comfortable doing. If you can have extra 5% of your income, put that in each month. And then over time, you'll see that start to grow with that compound interest, as we mentioned, and it'll just grow over time, and you'll see the impact and you'll see the growth. And so by doing that, you're not wasting time on researching and stuff, because a lot of these companies have their own portfolios and their own stock picks, by experts, who work there, to help you grow. And, they're typically are pretty consistent, pretty good. So put your money in there recurring. Don't even worry about it. And come back in the next couple of years, 5 years, 10 years, whatever. Just forget about that money. Throw money in there that you're not worried about, that you don't need for bills. Throw all the extra money you have, and you'll see. I think it'll work out well for you.
View it as savings account. Yeah. That's how I would think. You actually put it as a savings account.
Because banks are doing it.
Yeah, banks are just taking your money. They're loaning out your money and you're putting it into to their stock market, and they make that money and they keep their returns. That's why banks will never, ever go out of business, ever. So if you want to go into investment banking, do that. I don't know how I feel about it, but go ahead.
Yeah, and so I think it also comes down to being patient, believing in yourself, and be consistent with it. And I think I just want to say I think that's a big thing that especially with Jim. As I know you guys saw the first clip we had, Jim, he might have went through those things, but he kept like fighting through it, and and I believe Jim's gonna get back to wherever he was before. And I think that also is just the last kind of point I want to have, just having that abundance mindset, right? Things are gonna come to you if you believe it. If you sit here and find every excuse in the world for why things aren't gonna work out, or you sit here and like you're worried about what people are gonna think of you or the judgment, you're never gonna like truly go after what you want. And I think by having an abundance mindset and thinking like, things will come to me if I work for them, or, knowing things are out there, you're going to actually look for opportunities instead of sitting here and finding every reason why something can go wrong. And I think that's the most important thing, because at the end of the day, none of us want to be 60 having to work a job. We want to be able to do whatever we want, because I think the purpose of life, and I'm rambling, but the purpose of life is that, for me, is being able to do whatever you want, and just having that freedom. So I don't want to sit here and let money be the detriment in my downfall and why I can't pursue the things I want to, pursue. I feel like money should be my tool for, I don't have to work all the time. Yeah. And again, this is my last point. That is why like having different streams of income is important, because if one thing goes bad, you have those other things to rely on, and you're never all your eggs aren't in one basket. So you can truly, if you have to a point where your stocks are making you thousands of dollars a month, which a lot of people end up doing. There's a lot of millionaires in this world, off the stock market. Then you can live your life freely. Yeah. And I think that's the goal.
Exactly. Yeah. The goal is wealth. And when I say wealth, I don't mean hundreds of millions. I'm just talking about it's all relative.
Because you feel wealthy once you don't have to give up any interview time. Whether for you that's 150, whether for another person that's 200. It's all about you not giving up your time. Me at 20, or me at 20, we can feel wealthy with 100K, but us at 30 is not gonna be the same. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, and your vision, the way you see yourself, is who you're gonna become in the future. Yeah. And I really stress that importantly, and I think it's important to also journal your success and track your achievements, and we're all gonna be good.
Yeah. Wise words from a future millionaire.
I don't know about that. But look, literally there's $23 trillion circulating in the market. You mean to tell me you can grab like 200 of that? Yeah. Come on, man.
So yeah, that was wrap it up. I hope you guys were able to, learn just the basics of stocks. We can do a more in-depth video if you guys would like. There's a lot to talk about. And so yeah, you guys learned where to, buy a stock, just how to invest over time. ETFs very important. Remember that. And again, patience. Mm-hmm. Time millionaires. That's what being a time millionaire is.
Yeah, you got time.
You got time to make mistakes, take
options,
those risks,
derivatives, all that, crypto,
everything.
Supply demand, institutional candles. I don't know. We're not gonna get to all that. We're just vibing.
So yeah, but just want to say we appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys. Damn, I can't talk, boy. But yeah, appreciate you guys. Season 3 is gonna be great. Have a lot of great guests.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for listening.
Go like. Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, all that. Yeah, we appreciate y'all.
All right, Time Millionaire, we out.
Nice.